Welcome back to Stories Behind the Walls, the official podcast of Voices for Justice Incorporated, where we speak truth to power, expose injustice, and demand accountability, especially for those society tries to forget. I'm your host, Annabelle, and this episode is a big one. Delaware just made history. On Monday, Governor Matt Meyer signed House Bill 182 into law, legislation that bans 287 agreements, which are contracts between local law enforcement agencies and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. Delaware joins other progressive states like New Jersey, Illinois, and Connecticut in saying no to using local police as federal immigration agents. This is a win for human rights. It's a win for immigrant communities, and it's a win for public safety. Let's talk about what this bill means, why it matters, and what comes next. So, what is House Bill 182? House Bill 182 is a bill passed by the Delaware General Assembly that prohibits state and local law enforcement from entering into 287 agreements with ICE. That means police officers, sheriff deputies, and correction officers can no longer act as federal immigration agents under any formal agreement. Why is that important? Because 287 programs blur the lines between public safety and immigration enforcement, leading to racial profiling, family separation, and mistrust between communities and the police. Under 287, local officers could question people about immigration status during a traffic stop, hold individuals beyond their release date at ICE request, start deportation process inside jails even before a trial or conviction. With House Bill 182, now law in Delaware, that stops here. Let's take a step back. Delaware hasn't historically had many active 287G agreements, but that doesn't mean immigrant communities have been safe from ICE. Informal cooperation, jail holds, and data sharing have still led to quiet detentions and fast track deportations of people who were stopped for things as simple as driving without a license. So, how did this bill happen? Credit goes to years of advocacy by immigrants, organizations, and policy experts who knew that public safety means protecting communities, not targeting them. Organizations like the ACLU of Delaware, immigrant led coalitions, and community groups pushed for this change. They showed up to hearings, they spoke truth to power, and most importantly, they reminded lawmakers that people are not illegal. Governor Matt Meyer signed House Bill 182 into law this month on Monday, like I said, making a clear statement Delaware's law enforcement agencies will no longer participate in federal immigration crackdown. Let's talk about why this is such a big deal. Number one is public trust. When people fear that calling the police could get them or their loved ones deported, they stop reporting crimes. That makes everyone less safe. Number two is racial profiling. Studies have shown that these programs target Latin communities and other people of color, often based on stereotypes and not evidence. Number three, jails are not ICE outposts. Local jails and prisons are already overcrowded, underfunded, and under fire for abuse and neglect. Turning them into staging grounds for deportation only worsens the harm. And number four is family separation. Too many people have been torn from their families because of minor infractions that turned into ICE detainers, and House Bill 182 helps prevent that. Let's humanize this. We've worked with families who didn't even know their loved one was facing deportation until it was too late. We've heard from people in custody who were told they'd be released only to be met at the gate by ICE. We've met children who lost a parent overnight to a system that was supposed to protect their community. House Bill 182 won't erase that pain, but it helps make sure it doesn't happen again. Now, let's be clear, House Bill 182 doesn't stop ICE entirely. ICE can still operate in Delaware, issue detainers though law enforcement is not required to honor them, and ICE can still make arrests. What this bill does is draw a clear boundary. Our local police are not immigration officers, and that matters because when law enforcement oversteps, civil rights violations follow. And when there's no oversight, abuse thrives in silence. Here at Voices for Justice Incorporated, we support this legislation, but we know the work isn't done. Here's what we're calling for next: stronger protections for immigrants in state custody, expanded legal resources for detained immigrants, mandatory reporting of ICE activity in jails, clear complaint processes for families impacted by wrongful holds or transfers. And we're asking you, our community, to stay engaged. If you're wondering what you can do, here are some steps. Read the full bill. Read the entire House Bill 182 and know your rights. Call your legislators and thank them for voting yes, or hold them accountable if they didn't. Share this episode with others in your community. Support organizations that offer legal aid to immigrant families. Tell your story. If your family has been impacted by ICE, to our undocumented community, you are not alone, you are not invisible, and you deserve to live free from fear. This is a step forward, but we will keep pushing until all systems treat all people with dignity. This has been Stories Behind the Walls, brought to you by Voices for Justice Incorporated. We're here to speak the truth loudly, boldly, and unapologetically. To stay involved, follow us on our social medias, visit us at our website, or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay informed, stay powerful, and never stop fighting for justice.